Slanjava guys, welcome to Whisky and Synths. Thanks for tuning in. We've just had 20 episodes of Whisky and Synths, all getting famous artists and famous producers' tips to you guys. So I hope you've enjoyed it. So I thought a fun thing to do would be to meet the maker episode for episode 21. Just to say hi so you guys get to know me and the channel. Drop a comment below if you've been watching so far, and I appreciate all the new followers who've been following along on the channel as well. So yeah, I've just moved house, funky wallpaper, it's going to be like a 70s boudoir kind of vibe. So I don't have my podcast set up, proper set up, but I thought this would be a fun kind of maybe one take, kind of just hello to you guys, everyone who's on the channel. So hope you're doing well, and these are some questions I've been asked before. And one of them was like, why did you start the channel Whisky and Synths? Well, it was in 2018, I was living in Edinburgh, and I was really getting into music, and I was just about to start sound engineering college in Edinburgh. I was running the label, Tonic Note Records, just set that up, and I just kind of got this pop-up about this mini course on YouTube, and I'd obviously heard of YouTube, and kind of thought, oh, there must be some benefits from it. And then I thought, well, maybe it'd be cool to start the own channel. And then I watched these little training videos and stuff and how to go about it. And they were saying, oh, you should blend in things you love and kind of make it your own. And I thought, well, from Scotland, I'm a tour guide in Scotland at the time. Why not do Whisky and Synths? And originally the idea was to interview people over whiskey, do studio tours, and talk about synths and music production. And it's kind of followed that a bit. Recently it's evolved into being artist tips that I've researched over a wee dram, sharing it with you guys on the internet, but hopefully it'll go back to that interview format soon as well, because I think that's part of it, interviewing local artists or famous artists. I live in Kent now, and there's an amazing music scene here, so that could be a future thing to do. So the next question was, where does the name come from? Well, like I said, just kind of blending the two worlds of Whisky and Synths is a fun idea. I thought it was a catchy name, and we even got to do it at Edinburgh Festival of Sound, where a whiskey expert, my mate Mike, matched whiskies to actual music producers, and that's one of the very early videos on this channel you can still check out. I'm quite proud of doing that live panel talk, and it had some actual performances as well. So yeah, and it came from there. And then shout out Stick, my mate from high school, who made the animated credits you see at the end as well. So the mission for the channel, what's the mission for the channel? The idea is to help you out there with your music production problems, because there's so many channels out there reviewing a rack mounted synth from 1989 that you're never going to buy, and they are fun to nerd out on. I chill out watching stuff like that, to be fair. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to help push you guys in your music. And by the way, when I say guys in Scotland, that just means everyone. So everyone is guys. That's just slang. So just that's why I'm saying guys. But for you guys, I think hearing from really famous artists, or really cool artists, or just independent artists who've got something interesting to say, and hearing about their tips on their process, whether it's technical stuff or the artistry side of things, is going to help. And I think out there, they've got so many resources to learn the kind of technical side of things, how to mix, how to EQ a snare, blah, blah, blah. There's less out there on the kind of being an artist and expressing yourself. And that's a huge side of music production. So I want to help bring that closer so everyone can make the most of it. And the technical side of things is important. This channel will mention stuff like that sometimes, maybe on live streams. I've done a bit of that. But going forward, it's mainly focusing on tips from famous artists, the artistry of it, and there'll be a few technical bits in there as well. So yeah, that's the kind of mission for the channel. Some people ask, what's my personal favourite whiskey? Oh, there's so many good ones, but it's got to be a Balblair, which is from the way up in the northeast of Scotland. Oh mate, it's so good. It's featured in the Angels Share movie as well. If anyone whiskey fans have seen that movie, that's filmed at that distillery, some of it. It's I like whiskies that are, how on one side you got mega fiery, one side you got kind of smooth, almost lacking in taste a little bit. I like ones that are in the middle where you get a bit of that fire, but then smooth silkiness as well. So the whiskies that do that, Speyside ones quite often are good for that. So that's some of my favourite whiskies. Another question I asked is, what got you into music? Well, I remember being a kid with my brother, and we had these like boom boxes, and we'd like tape stuff, and I had a built-in microphone, and we'd even tape like little radio shows, like, oh, let's move on. So funny, thinking that was probably the first playing around with recording we did. And then we had a few keyboards and instruments in the house, lucky to have that. And then when I got to high school, I did music units there, and going through right through to the end of high school, the music. And I remember being so excited about composition. That's what they called it, or they called it inventing. I was like, I gotta learn how to write my own music, and that's always been a focus. Like, I appreciate musicianship and that, but writing music and creating original music, that's always just been like, since I guess I was 13 then, obsessed with it, and took it from there. And it leads me on to the next question. Sometimes people are like, Dave, where are you from? Well, I'm actually from Fort William in Scotland, so that's way up north west of Scotland, near the biggest mountains, like Ben Nevis and stuff like that, and Glencoe, famous there. And then eventually I was living in Glasgow for a bit, which I loved. Lucky to live in Paris and Berlin for a little bit, and then lived in Edinburgh for ages too. You can tell I like moving around. And now I'm down in Margate, a seaside town in Kent, but often go back up to Scotland. Love travelling around, love going to Brighton a lot as well. So yeah, but originally from the Highlands of Scotland. Now the other thing is, I get asked is, where did I learn about music production originally? So growing up, we had this basic Windows computer, and my mate Johnny Quiff gave us a copy of Sonar, and I was trying to learn to record on that. Me and my brother managed to record a whole album on that when I was 21. That was cool. And then I kind of played around on iPad apps and stuff, and I actually had Ableton in like 2008 to 9, 10, played around on it a little bit, done a DJ set on it for my mate's 21st, then just didn't play with it much. And I definitely should have stuck with it. I'd be 10 years ahead in my Ableton skills if I did. But in 2016, I went to Subsign Academy in Glasgow. I was living in Edinburgh, got the bus over once a week, done night classes. Best thing I've ever done. It's amazing, so it's well worth checking out. So almost my 10-year anniversary of starting those night classes next year. So shout out Simon at Shugo, or that's what it used to be called, Subsign now. And just brilliant place, absolutely magic. And if you're up in Scotland, you should definitely do some courses with them. If you're not, I'm a music production teacher, I can help you with that if you're not in Scotland. But I do teach people on Zoom and in person as well. But this isn't about me kind of trying to sell you my music tuition. It's just a little chat. So, but shout out Subsign Academy. And then I went to Edinburgh College as like a mature student. I think I was about 30. I went and done music production there and sound engineering. I never thought I'd get nerdy about microphones, but even now I'm like, oh, the C414 by AKG. And by the way, why do microphones always just have like random numbers as names rather than cool names? Like synths have quite cool names, guitars, quite cool names. Most microphones are like code. It's so weird. Although Aston mics are given time to give them cool names. So that was great. And I got to learn a bit about the, not just electronic production, but the kind of acoustic or bands and recording stuff like that, and like how you use a big mixing desk and stuff. So I'm very grateful to have got to do that at college in Edinburgh. They had amazing gear as well. And if anyone's putting off going to do something like that, don't, just do it. I should have done it ages ago, but I'm so grateful I've done it. And now I get to work in a college as my day job, doing like music production, running their studios as well in Kent. And that leads me on to another question, is like, what music projects am I involved in? So that's kind of my day job. And then Whisky and Synths, Tonic Note Records, and all my tuition business is also like my side kind of income. I do all that, just to be really transparent. But my creative projects I'm involved in, I'm so lucky. So I'm in a dance punk band called No TV. So you'll find us at notv.theband everywhere. And it's kind of 4 of us. Claire is on guitar and keyboards and singing. We've got Liam on drums and sample pad. Richard's on bass, guitar and bass synth. I do a bit of synth and singing and sample pad as well. And basically the idea is, if you imagine a Venn diagram that is like dance music, punk music and indie music meets in the middle. So bands like LCD Sound System are a big inspiration. And also I'm really lucky to collaborate remotely with my bro James. We do Last of the Free, which is like a Celtic, Scottish kind of inspired electronic project. So taking things from history and traditional music and fusing it with electronic stuff. And we've just had 24 singles in 24 months out, so you can check that out as well if you're interested. And we're on Tonic Note Records, which is a label which has been going for 7 whole years. We release a compilation every year, and our next compilation, our 7th annual compilation, is coming out this month. It's called Blame It on the Bucky. Bucky is like a Scottish kind of phenomenon, although it's made in England. It's called Buckfast tonic wine, and we all love it because it's caffeinated and gives you a bit of a buzz. So Blame It on the Bucky, the Buckfast, is where that name comes from. And they're the projects I'm involved in, as well as of course doing Whisky and Synths as well. So what am I looking forward to in the next few years? Well, I'm really looking forward to playing more with No TV, developing that project with singles, maybe an EP, and also I'm remixing a lot of the material we put out as like kind of inspired by like Soul Wax and Marie Davidson. And we're doing some, yeah, that's just giving me an idea. We're going to do a tips video from Marie Davidson. That's planned. And I need to research a Soul Wax one. That'd be so cool. And leave a comment, if you're still here, leave a comment on any ones you guys want to see done as well. Happily do that. So that's some of the stuff I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this channel maybe doing more interviews with people in person or on Zoom and putting that up. And I am open to doing more like tutorial type videos on the channel as well, but it's going to be the podcast format for the foreseeable. People seem to quite enjoy that. And yeah, maybe do some studio tours of local studios here would be a fun thing to do. So love nerding out and all that stuff. So anyway, that's the ideas for the next few years, and a bit about how I'd like to develop this podcast and channel as well. So yeah, massive shout out everyone. Thank you so much for joining on this journey with your whiskey and your synths and your music making. Like I said, hit me up. I always offer 4 free sessions like every month, 1-to-1 on Zoom, just for people who need that bit of help with their music. Happy to help out, but I've only got 4 a month in the diary available, so click link below if you want that. I also offer a free Finish Your Damn Track in 10 steps. It's like a little email. You get an email once a day for 10 days, a quick PDF, and if you follow it, you'll have your track finished. So no more endless micro adjustments, no more tweaking things, pulling your hair out, no more lack of motivation. I'm trying to help with all that. So there's some free resources that could help you. Just click below. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this Meet the Creator sort of video podcast thing. I'll get my new setup done and get back with a mic and proper podcasting setup soon. But from now, enjoy your whiskey, enjoy your synths, and maybe it's time you close that laptop, switch off your phone, or switch off YouTube and go and make some music and have some fun with it. All right, cheers, catch you later guys, bye. Whiskey.